I'm Rick Torbett, and welcome to Better Basketball's Better One-on-One Defense. There are two halves of the game of basketball, offense and defense. Offense gets a lot of attention. But consider this, if you score, you may win. But if you stop your opponent, you will never lose. Defense is not very glamorous. But for those that know and love the game, we know that defense wins championships. There is deep and personal satisfaction in becoming your team's defensive stopper or holding the nation's leading scorer to his or her season low. Coaches and teammates know they need a stopper. Becoming a great defender can put you on another level because you are needed. You are prized for your special abilities because you're going to take out your opponent's best player. What a compliment it is to inspire fear and respect to the point that your opponent shakes his head and takes a deep breath when he finds out that you're the man that's going to be checking him tonight. Consider this. You're defending a clone of yourself. Same strength, equal quickness, identical skills. Since your offensive clone knows exactly what he's going to do, he's the initiator and you're the reactor. And that extra split second of reaction time gives him the advantage. So what you must accomplish, what is at the very core of great defense, is to change the advantages and percentages of one-on-one basketball to your favor. You must go from being a reactor who is always a step behind to a dictator who is controlling and limiting your opponent's options. And that's what better one-on-one defense is about. Now, the video is divided into 8 chapters. The first chapter will break down the proper defensive stance. Chapter 2 addresses all the basic movements needed to play dominating one-on-one defense. Chapters 3, 4, and 5 address the 3 most common defensive situations: defending a player handling the ball in the open court, defending a perimeter player who is attacking from the pivot, and defending a player in the post. In Chapter 6, we'll examine your options when your man decides to shoot. Chapter 7 will give you workouts and drills specifically designed to improve your defensive game. And finally, Chapter 8 contains 10 game hints. Now, this video is not about how to handle screens, how to defend away from the ball, or a specific defensive system. That's your coach's job. He's got to consider the type of players on your team, the need to dictate tempo, and your team's style of play. We'll leave that to your coach. What this video is about is the principles and techniques that enable you to play high-caliber one-on-one defense. If you've always been quicker and stronger than your opponent, then you might think you don't need this video. But sooner or later, you're going to go up against that great player who is every bit as athletic and savvy as you are. That's your defining moment. And that's where better basketball's better one-on-one defense comes in. Let's get started. The foundation of dominating one-on-one defense is to get in a stance, move in a stance, stay in a stance until you get the ball. The correct defensive stance involves getting in an aggressive stance with your knees bent at just over 90 degrees. Stick your bump out and arch your lower back in order to put your head directly over your knees and the balls of your feet. Don't get too low or too wide and lose your ability to be quick and explosive. Remember, you must be able to transition to a sprint at any time. Sprinters start extremely low, with their hands actually touching the ground. Being low gets you ready to explode and immediately achieve maximum speed. So a stance puts you in that low, athletic sprinter's position. When the man you're guarding attacks, you're in the best possible position to be able to explode with him. But if you're standing upright and your man makes a move, you must first drop to a stance and then try to move with him. That's wasted time. Take the drop out and you'll save valuable reaction time. A good stance helps you mentally. Our subconscious mind and our body are connected. If your limbs are straight and relaxed, your body sends your mind the subconscious message to relax. But if you're in a stance, your body sends your subconscious mind the signal that something is up. Be alert. Think of when you're startled. Your adrenaline pumps, your body doesn't stay relaxed, it gets in a stance. Bottom line, being in a good defensive stance will make you more mentally alert and give you the extra split second of reaction time that you need. Your feet should be slightly more than shoulder width apart. The majority of your weight should be on the balls of your feet, but your heels should still be on the ground. You should be pressing the floor with the inside of each foot. Why? Because you push off with the instep of one foot and step with the other. Set up your defensive stance by placing one foot slightly in front of the other. This lead foot has a matching hand that we'll call the lead hand. Now, there are 3 uses for the lead hand. First, it's used as a measuring stick to ensure proper spacing. If you can touch your man's belly button, then you're too close. If he can hold the ball in his shot pocket, you're too far away. If he's able to get in a controlled dribble, then you're also too far away. Second, the lead hand discourages the crossover and makes the dribbler use a slow change of direction move like a spin or around the back. And third, the lead hand keeps your opponent from getting into a comfortable triple threat position. He'll have to hide the ball from this hand, losing the ability to take a quick shot. The backhand is used to discourage and deflect passes. It can deflect air passes and bounce passes. Don't get lazy and let it dangle from your shoulder to the ground. You've got 2 hands, so let's use them both. As we said earlier, keep your head directly over the line drawn between your knees. When your head's in front of this line, your weight will be too far forward. If your head's behind your knees, then your weight will be back on your heels. Either way, you're going to lose balance, and you need great balance to explode in any direction. Now that you're in a stance, you've got to add the techniques of movement. The faster you can do them, the quicker you can change from one to the other, the better defender you'll be. The quickest way to move laterally in a defensive stance is not to cross your feet. Rather, move in what is commonly called a step slide. But I think the term step slide is misleading. Why? Because to move laterally at maximum speed, you need to push, step, slide. First, push off with the foot opposite the direction you're going. Second, step with the other foot, as big a stride as you can. To speed up the stride, move the matching hand in a wax-on, wax-off motion. Third, slide your foot directly under your head without crossing your feet, shifting weight from one foot to the other. Now you're ready to push off and begin the sequence again. When step sliding, your feet should be close to the ground, just skimming the surface. This allows you to make quick changes of direction, and it's the most efficient way to move. If done properly, your head will move in a line